Hello everyone, it's Nick here, and today is the 12th of June. Now this is another Q&A type video. I did intend just to do one of these because I thought I wouldn't get that many questions, but after doing the first one some other questions come through from a few other people, so I thought we'd tackle some of those at least and round it up in a second one. I don't know if any more questions are going to come through and we'll do a third one, but it looks like two for the time being. Now apologies if I don't read out your question, it's probably because it's already been answered in the first one or something similar has happened, but I'll try and cover as much as I can. So here we go, let's see what we have this time. First question is from Andy Sage. Thanks Andy. He asked, what was the best and worst ZX Spectrum game in your opinion? A bit of a two-parter this one. Well, I sort of answered that in the first Q&A really. My favourite game was Attic Attack by Ultimate Play the Game, a fantastic publishing house. Attic Attack was one of the early games I played. Recently reviewed Nightshade by Ultimate as well. I kind of like all their games, but Attic Attack really rose above and beyond there. So I watched the first Q&A about that one. Next, what was my worst Spectrum game? Well, there are a few bad ones out there. Now the ZX Spectrum is probably the machine I played the most games on, closely followed by the Commodore Amiga. The worst game, it has to be said, that I've ever played was Jack and the Beanstalk. This is a horror one. It was by, not horror genre, it's just horrible to play. This was by 4 Computer Software in 1984. You play the part of Jack, but it doesn't look like a human. You must climb up the beanstalk and do a number of other stuff. But I only got off the first screen once. It is so infuriating. There's this spider hopping down below, guarding an axe. You don't need to get that first of all. Then you have to climb up a beanstalk to get to some brickwork. But the control method is so slippery and so precise. You just spend all your time falling off this beanstalk. This game is absolutely terrible. If you can track down my review of it in the ZX Spectrum playlist, maybe do a search, have a look. But it is, it's territory. It's damn awful. I can't describe how awful this game is. Second part of this question: what was the what was my favourite and worst Game Boy Advance game? Now, although I played the Game Boy Advance quite a lot, typically going to work, I didn't really own at the time that many games for it, so I find I'm still discovering the games as I buy them and play them. But the game that I only bought the Game Boy Advance for originally, and still my favourite game, is Mario Super Circuit. This game is pretty awesome and addictive. I first played it on Super Nintendo, so when I saw it was on a handheld, I just had to get the Game Boy Advance, so that was my impulse buy. Other games I've come across since are V-Rally 3, that's quite good. And under recommendation, Iridion and Iridion 2. There's lots of good games for it. Doom I covered quite recently, Grand Theft Auto's on there, the original, Tekken. But that's my favourite game is Super Mario Kart. I'm struggling to think of my worst one because I tend to find good in all of them. I'd have to think about that one. I'm not absolutely sure what my worst one would be. If you push me, it'd have to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, only because they had a top franchise for that game, Konami, and they could have done a whole lot better. I played Teenage Mutant Turtles down the arcades, the arcade version, and that was absolutely awesome. So this Game Boy Advance game was a little bit depressing. So if you're going to force me into a corner, my worst game is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There we go. So that was very long answers to a basic question. Okay, next up, I'm going to mix these about a bit because people tend to ask 3 or 4 questions, so I'll mix it about a bit. Next question from Stuart Sumner. What do you make of modern retro games such as Towerfall and Axiom Verge? Well, I have to admit, I'm a bit of a dummy when it comes to these new retro games. I'm still stuck in in an era of the old games, nostalgia games. I haven't really checked out any of these modern ones. I've been meaning to check out some homebrews of ZX Spectrum, in particular my favourite computer game character of all time, Horace, from Horace and Skiing, and Horace and the Spiders, and Hungry Horace. There's a few new ones, Horace in the Mystic Woods. But I couldn't comment on these modern retro games. I don't know too much about them, so honesty is the best policy. I just don't know. Okay, next up from Kinston LJ, who asked quite a lot of questions in the first one. He's still getting them coming in. He asked, what was your top 5 films of all time? Now that again is a very tricky question. I just watch so many films, especially the classics. I've written a few down here. I'll be hard to put them in an order, but my short list here, and I'm sure I've forgotten many. We've got Jaws, Alien, Shaun of the Dead. Simon Pegg directed that one. That was a good game. Film. Fistful of Dollars, Clint Eastwood, and also The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and a few dollars more. I love westerns. Superman 2, Christopher Reeve, his first outing against Ursa Zod and Non. Trainspotting, 2001. How'd you put these in any order? I don't know. There's the Back to the Future trilogy. That is absolutely fantastically awesome. Jurassic Park. I've got to see Jurassic World at some point as well. Star Wars trilogy, Ghostbusters, Unforgiven. It goes on and on. What's my favourite film out of all of them? Well, it fluctuates. Let's go for, I don't know. Let's go for the original Alien. That'd have to be my favourite film then, with Sigourney Weaver. Alien, that's my favourite film. Could have put Aliens in there as well, but we'll stick with Alien. And that leads quite nicely on. There's another question by Kingston LJ. Who's your favourite Hollywood actress? Sigourney Weaver from Alien. I might have mentioned that film in the last answer, I'm not sure. Also as well, she's in The Fifth Element. Mila Jovovich, is that how you say her name? Jovovich. Anyway, her. Picture up there, I think. No, there. There's the picture. That's her. She's good in The Fifth Element. Multipass. She said that a lot in it. That's good. Trying to think of anyone else really. Oh yeah, I can't remember her name. I just thought of one. In Prometheus, hated by a lot of people, but I love that film. The lead was played by, is it Noomi Rapace? Well, I liked her. I'm quite looking forward to seeing her in the sequel to Prometheus. I think it's called Paradise at some point, which they're making at the moment. So I'll watch out for that one. Excellent stuff. Favourite film genre? Kingston LJ again. Well, you might have guessed from some of those films I mentioned here. My favourite genre is hands down science fiction. I love Star Trek, I love Star Wars, but others to mention: Event Horizon, that's a pretty creepy film. Interstellar, Blade Runner with Harrison Ford, of course. Absolutely awesome, that film. I hope they don't remake any of these classics. Normally when they remake stuff like Total Recall or RoboCop, I start to cry. I hate it. Good films in their own right, but not as good as the originals. Why make them? They'll try and remake Casablanca next, I would have thought. A complete and utter waste of time. Make new films. Don't be lazy. Interstellar I've just watched a few times. I'm still not 100% sure what's going on. But I like that film. And also, I don't think you can call this a genre really. Anything directed by Simon Pegg. So Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, which I mentioned there, World's End. Yeah, fantastic. Plays Scotty in the Star Trek, and I said don't remake films, but this reboot of Star Trek seems to have done okay. But I'm worried about how the third film's going to look, because J.J. Abrams, I don't know if he's directing it, but he's doing Star Wars now, so perhaps not. Okay. So back to Stuart Sumner, a few questions from him. Do you ever play ZX81 games, such as 3D Defender or 3D Monster Maze? Again, Stuart, no, I don't. I wish I did, but I never owned a ZX81. I sort of like, I come into the computer world, well, as a BBC or Acorn Electron or BBC Micro. I think they were the same computer, or very similar, at school. That's my first taste. But our first home computer was the ZX Spectrum, so I just missed the ZX81. If I'd been born a couple of years earlier, I probably would have played that. But it was all 48K in our house, so 3D Defender, although I know the actual Defender, and 3D Monster Maze, complete and utter mystery to me. But maybe I should catch up on those. ZX81, there's ZX80 as well, wasn't there? But no, not really. Would you consider Hooray to be your catchphrase? Well, doesn't a catchphrase have to be more than one word? I do say hooray a lot. Well, what can be other catchphrases? Goodbye. It's not time for that yet. That's me with a bit of reverb. What else? Please remember to rate, comment and subscribe. I say that a lot. And I probably repeat the same jokes in the same video because I forgot what I said. But I don't think I've got a catchphrase, have I? I'll try and get one. Hooray! Igor might have a catchphrase. He says yeah a lot, doesn't he? Okay. No, well, yeah, let's go with that. Hooray is my catchphrase. I say it quite a lot in the Tomb Raider blundering videos. At least I did in the first one. Who's next? Here we go. Oh, it's Lee Birch Garth. He's just started his own retro channel. Just a few videos on at the moment. I'm sure he'll pick up. It's all a learning process, I think. Starting a channel isn't the easiest thing to do. You just gradually improve as you go along. Keep consistent. That's my tip for you. Anyway, what does he ask? He asks, if you're marooned on a desert island... Oh dear, it's going to be a big question, this. If you were marooned on a desert island, what book would you take, first of all? Maybe some sort of survival guide. That might help. Or something by Terry Pratchett. Anything by him. I think I'd have to take the complete works of Arthur C. Clarke. Is that allowed? Arthur C. Clarke, he wrote 2001... and that whole series, The Sentinel as well. If you're unfamiliar with Arthur C. Clarke and you like reading, you like science fiction, read his books. He's not alive anymore. I think original works are published in the 50s and 60s. But yeah, Arthur C. Clarke, I recommend his stuff. 2001, we're in 2015 at the moment, so he was probably projected 100 years too early. But that's good. So I'll take that. I'll take his books, Arthur C. Clarke. What computer console would you take? Well, I'd have to take something that I can walk around with. I presume we've got an infinite energy source on this island. So it'd have to be the Game Boy Advance. There we go, I can walk around with that. What computer game? Well, it'd have to be a game I could play on the Game Boy Advance. So let's see. It comes back to my first question, the first question that Andy Sage put here. I'd have to take a Super Mario Circuit if I had a GBA with me. Certainly. Okay, what else is on this crazy desert island, apart from a supermarket, of course? What DVD? All of those... Well, I've got to pick one, have I? Let's go for Jaws. That'll cheer me up before I was going to go swimming. That's it. I'd watch Jaws, then go swimming on the desert island trying to catch fish. Yeah, that's good. I could pick up some tips there or something. CDs. Well, this covers what someone else asked, what's my favourite music. And I'm not sure this will be a surprise or not. I like old music, not in the 20s. I like Motown, so you're looking at Little Richard, Chuck Berry, Jackson 5, Michael Jackson. Yeah, anything's like Motown there, a bit of Bruno Mars as well, modern, anything that sort of feel to it. I like happy, funky music. Favourite drink's probably Southern Comfort, so I'd like to be in a speakeasy drinking that and listening to my favourite music. So something that in that sort of area. I prefer that to modern day stuff. There we go. What drink would you take to the desert island? Well, water. Wouldn't anyone take water? I'd take water. So that's my being marooned on a desert island all sorted out. So if that ever happens, I want all this stuff, please. And a girl with big bosoms, if that's allowed. He didn't ask that in his question, but we'll add that in. Thanks, Lee. Good stuff, good stuff. We seem to have a few questions about Igor here, and this one is actually from Igor. Will I be getting a full series? Yeah, I think you will. We've sort of done a graphic for it now, Igor. So I keep looking up here. I keep looking in the wrong direction. But we've done a graphic for it now, Igor, you're pleased to say. So you better come up with 12 questions for the series. Each series is 12 questions. And they better be better than last time. I don't know how you got a full series. Some of those questions are pretty ridiculous. But yes, the series evolves each time. We seem to get slightly better, do we? I'm not quite so sure. But anyway, yeah, full series, probably start in July sometime. Hooray! Yeah. Okay. Stuart Sumner, can you describe what Igor looks like? Well, he's not really. He would describe himself as a cross between Warwick Davis and David Beckham. Igor is a mystical being. Okay, he's not from this world. He's from another dimension, a dimension of weirdness. Okay, he's not like normal people. Yeah. No, we'll leave it there. Kingston LJ, will you be taking Igor again? Will you be taking Igor to watch the next Star Wars film? That's The Force Awakens, isn't it? No. He can time travel as well, so he's probably already seen it, and the next 12. No, I won't be watching Igor, because people might think it's my girlfriend. Could lead to confusion. No, Kingston, no, and no again, no. How are we doing? Oh, we've only got a few left here. Is this going to last longer than the last QA? I think it might do. Well done for sticking with it. If you've got any questions that I haven't covered here, we could do a third one. Maybe not, but if there's enough questions, we probably will do. So if you've got questions, put them below. It could be anything. It can be weirdness. It could be interplanetary. Igor's got a special space book of facts. So it can be anything you want. Doesn't have to be about me or what I take to a desert island or any of that stuff. It could be anything. It could be life, the universe, and anything really. Okay, getting back on topic here. Stuart Sumner again. In a previous Q&A, you mentioned you worked in a bank. I used to work in a bank. I got made redundant. It wasn't my fault. Loads of us did, but I got another job now anyway. Did you and Igor both work at Gringotts Bank? No, we didn't. Me and Igor have never worked together. He sometimes turns up and sometimes disappears. He sometimes does the videoing of this. But essentially, as I understand it, in his world, which I can't even remember what that's called, there was some kind of gold smelting accident. It opened up a rip in space-time and a cross between dimensions. He could have gone anywhere in the entire universe, our universe, but ended up in my house. So now we have a random Wednesday question that turns up every now and again. So, hooray again, hooray! So that's true story. I'm not making this up, folks. It's true. Okay, Stuart Sumner, where do you buy your hats? I do own quite a lot of hats. I have to say that. I've never bought a hat in a conventional shop. They're all bought online. I'm trying to think now. There's lots of places. Google Trilby hats and see what comes up. I think there's one called Hats and Caps. There's another one called, dunno, Fez you like? I ain't got any fezzes. I don't know. All online anyway. As long as you know your head size, you can order a hat online. But like clothes, sometimes they come up in different sizes. I don't know why. Inches should be inches, centimetres should be centimetres. I don't know. But all my hats are small size. Look, I'm not bald. But that was answer to another question before. I'm just grey. Not bald, just grey. I should get that as a car sticker. Anyway, yes. And the last question, probably the most important of all. Kingston LJ asks, what action star do you prefer? Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sly? Well, it's got to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, isn't it? Because he's got a similar body to me. Yes. Can't you see it? Well, yeah, I think you're blind or something. Anyway, that's Q&A 2 in the can. Thanks for watching as always. Put your questions below. Thanks for commenting and watching the videos. That's the lifeblood of the channel. Until next time, goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'll be back.